I literally told you chittering eating bitches. The girls that get it, and the girls that don't. Obviously you don't get it because you're not that girl. And by the way, I have a question, and don't fight me because I know how you girls like to tussle.
I can't let you get close.
So I want to start this off by saying nothing about this is going to be polished. Nothing about this is going to be aesthetic. Nothing about this is even going to be organized. But, you know, it's really for the girls that get it. And the girls that don't even fucking matter, to be honest. But I think that is my charm. I'm figuring out my charm, which is I don't have any. I'm very blunt. I'm very just in your face. But I feel like people can relate to that because a lot of stuff is very calculated. And I have no fucking calculations in me. I don't even like math, to be honest. Let's get that out there. I was sitting in my bed, and if y'all hear me rustling around, it's because I'm in my fucking bed. And I feel like that's my MO. That's what people are used to from me. And I wanted to go off of how I am with my TikToks, which is just a continuation of me just talking. And it's a continuation of me having a train of thought. And I feel like that's my zone. And I'm going to stick to it. And that's my lane. And I'm not going to swerve. I want to talk about men being sadists and women being masochists. Sadism is the tendency to derive pleasure, especially sexually gratification, from inflicting pain, suffering, or humiliation on others. Doesn't that sound like some of y'all baby daddies? No, actually, no. I said I was going to stop talking about baby daddies because I don't have one and I really can't understand it, so I need to stop. Masochism. The tendency to derive pleasure, especially sexual gratification, from one's own pain or humiliation. In general use, the enjoyment of what appears to be painful or tiresome. Ain't y'all bitches tired? And I realized the reason it made me come to this thought that I wanted to document and that I wanted to really put out with no real bells and whistles on it is because I was laying in bed and I was thinking, I really like laying down. I'm a woman of leisure. I really like the slow, lazy pool of life. I like the lazy river of life, and I really don't need anyone to tell me that it's wrong. But I've noticed a lot of women, black women in particular, but a lot of women take pride in how much pain they can take. And I feel so bad for y'all. Even when you talk about the most beautiful thing, one of the most beautiful things a woman can do, which is childbirth, here comes the natural. I had natural childbirth, and that goes back to women feeling good about how much they can put on their back and how much stuff they can put on their shoulders. It's sick when you think about it. Y'all want to call them meth heads sometimes when moms say they need help for stuff. Women are trained to take pain from the beginning. And if y'all know me, y'all know I'm a reader, right? So I read so many books, and I've been going back and reading some books I used to really be into. And I'm like, all this fucking back and forth and this pain she's been trained to take. If you see all these book talk girlies, and I'm getting into some real backwoods shit now. If you knew the book talk girlies, we all started on Wattpad. We all started on AO3. The shit we used to read was fucking out of this world. Forced kidnapping, forced marriage, arranged marriage, forced proximity. Did y'all hear all them forcing? Why are we forcing these little girls to do so much shit? And we used to eat these books up. So we were training ourselves to be masochists. Sometimes the men don't even have to do it for you. It's just easier for women. Like it says in the definition, the enjoyment of what appears to be painful or tiresome. I feel like a lot of times women don't even need someone else to train them into doing something because we would convince ourselves. Like that saying that said a woman will lie to herself if she like you enough. We would convince ourselves because we're hurting so bad. So we'll convince ourselves. It said, what makes someone a masochist? A masochist is someone who likes pain, yes, but it is a psychological tendency to find satisfaction and enjoyment. And it's the enjoyment. How women sit around and talk about how their baby daddies will never love them, how they talk about how their husbands don't do certain shit, and how they make it a joke. Y'all are fucking your own brains that the men don't even have to do it no more. Now we're getting on the men. So, talking about a sadist, it's 4 different types of sadism. It is spineless sadism, exhibits avoidant personality. Tyrannical sadism exhibits paranoid or negativistic personalities. Enforcing sadism exhibits compulsive personalities. Explosive sadism exhibits borderline personalities. Half of these sound like you guys' husbands, boyfriends, or situationships. And I feel like that's another form of masochism, which is fucking for free. No, not fucking for free. I do feel like that's a form of self-harm, but we'll get into that another time. Fucking just because. Letting somebody use your body as a flesh jack, I feel like is a form of masochism. And I usually am a solution-based person, and I feel like, and I'll give people a list of, this is how I feel like we can get out of this, and this is why I feel like, but I don't think there's no getting out of this type of symbiotic venom type relationship that men and women have got into because they don't want to. And I'm othering myself in this because I removed myself from it, and I'm calling y'all the days, but y'all don't want to. Y'all don't want to be removed from this bastardization of what we call love. Love between a man and a woman right now is sadism and masochism. It's just a lot of hurt. And don't get me wrong, everybody has hurt somebody before, but it's a difference. You've hurt somebody out of not knowing how you hurt them or how you can hurt them when you're mad in the heat of the argument, or when you feel like they're trying to hurt you. The difference between what's happening with this bastardization of what we call love between men and women is the intention to harm. Men are deriving pleasure from hurting y'all. And honestly, when you tack on it's a lack of regret, it's a failure to take responsibility, they enjoy inflicting pain. They enjoy seeing people hurt. They cherish the idea of seeing others in pain. When I saw that Twitter thread that said, how you know when you're starting to hate your girlfriend, and it was so much venom being spit at y'all, and y'all are still kikiing. And that's what kills me about y'all. This is how I know y'all like being hurt. Y'all are kikiing. Y'all are laughing. This is real life. And I know a lot of y'all are going to come on here like, well, how can we change this? And what can we do? Blase, squaze, but because women are foragers. We naturally look for a solution. And I can't give it to you. You have to really be tired and not enjoy the tiredness and not enjoy the drama and not enjoy the dysfunction. A lot of y'all pussy get wet from toxicness, and I can't help you. You have to talk to Fat Mom, okay? But I can tell you where I see us going, which is nowhere. We're stuck in this time loop of confusion and pain, and I don't see us really coming out of it anytime soon because it's meant for us to stay in it for us to continue to breed. Women have to continue to feel a certain amount of pain and enjoy it for the continuation of the human race. People are going to say that's a bit extreme, but I'm okay with that. You see it when women really talk about their experience being a mother and how they have to cover it up and they have to hide it. A lot of people, when I see mothers talk, cringe, or they don't want to hear them talk, or they try to remind them quickly like like they in a brainwashing program or something. But all the good that comes with it. And do you know, like, I know you love your child. That lady didn't say she loved her child. She said she's dying inside. And I think that's the point. They're trying to keep you quiet. They want you to die inside, because if you're dying inside, you have nothing to live for. And I feel like that's the point of a sadist really latching on to a masochist and finding that love in a hopeless place, is them really trying to keep hurting y'all because they always have a supply. But if we take it to a bigger scale, if all women are the supply of all sadists, which are all men, where does that leave us and where does that leave the world? Yeah, in the motherfucking dumps. A lot of y'all are living in the land of delusion, and I know y'all living in the land of delusion. I know y'all living in the land of delusion because the my man thing. There's no way you don't think you're delusional if you're sitting here touting a man and putting him on a pedestal, because a man is a human and humans make mistakes. And I know it's a joke, but a lot of y'all like to put these men on a pedestal so you can make yourself a martyr when inevitably the pain comes. And I think a lot of y'all have found comfort in your pain. And I'm not othering myself out of this, because I found comfort in my pain in other ways. It's just, it's not going to be somebody else causing me pain. But this ain't about me, bitch, okay? It's not our fault, because every corporation, every person in the world has a vested interest in women's suffering. It's not a coincidence that mom's stocking doesn't get stuffed on Christmas. It's not a coincidence that you have no time for yourself. It's not a coincidence when it's time to get rid of stuff, when it's time to save money. The things that sustain your soul go away when your husband's hobbies get to stay. That's not a coincidence. I'm asking y'all, please just look at how people act when you choose yourself or when you choose joy in your life. Just look at their faces. Look at the comments that they make. Listen to how their whole tone changes. Watch how their body language moves. Some sadists, y'all husband don't even let the masochist you have or express your own pain sometimes. You can't be sick because he finna be sick. Soon as you get a motherfucking headache, he's swooning. That's torture. And sometimes I think men hate periods so much because they can't even pretend to have one. Do you understand that this gets deeper than rap? Okay. My grandma used to be so like, I used to think she was so morbid. And she used to cut out pictures of people's funerals, obituaries. She used to cut out people's obituaries, and she drove city buses. So she used to drive around town, and if she would see a funeral procession or a wake, she would stop if she had some time and go in there and see, because at wake sometimes you don't really know who the person is or who all know them. So as she would do this, I used to always be like, oh my God, that's so morbid. That's so this, that's so that, blase, squaze. But now thinking about it and the pain that women go through in life, she probably wanted to see the only time women actually felt love, the only time women actually felt gratitude from people without people asking for anything back, is when they're dead. And I think that's why so many women cling to religion or Jesus as their husband or God is the only man, because that's the only man that they don't have to experience pain to love. And I actually don't want this to become an advice column, because I don't know how we can get over this as a gender. But I want my podcast or me to spark a thought. And if I could spark a thought, I could spark a question. If I could spark a question, then maybe, just maybe, I could spark some type of change. And, remember, I'm not asking you to like, subscribe, or follow. I'm just asking you to fuck with me.